creative, and you push boundaries, and I love people who push. Of the experiences and the people that I've met here, as fellow students, coming from the South Bronx, by way of Puerto Rico. So I remain in the South Bronx. I lived all my life in the South Bronx, in schools, out of schools. So building community and empowering people and recognizing the strengths that everybody has. Doesn't matter who you are. You bring something to the table and you make us strong. So I walked in, I had different things to say, because one of the things that I do before when I'm going to do something like this is that I sort of script myself. And then I take great pleasure in tearing that apart and doing whatever I feel like at the moment. And that's what I'm doing, because when I look into your faces, I see myself. Right. And I said this earlier, and I say this all the time. When I'm on this campus and I see all of you coming and going, I see myself coming and going. You know, I see the members of my personal community, you know, and the ones that I have embraced and learned from being here. So I thank you for choosing City College. I thank you for remaining. I thank you for what I'm going to see that you are going to display here, because Mo kind of threw me off as I was walking in, and he said, just be prepared to get your effing mind blown. And so I love that. And so I'm waiting to see that. So blow my mind, folks, and I know you will. So I'm going to rejoice in everything that you demonstrate here today. Thank you. It's been a pleasure to serve this institution for some 30-odd years. It's a pleasure. You don't see me very often, but you can always know that I am working to bring you the best. So.
Thank you, Senior Assistant Provost Doris. She is awesome. She's the one that doesn't care about her title. Everybody else here does, including me. That's why I care at all about you. That, and I want to hire a lot of this group. You know, I don't say that about every year, but there's a few other people that are in the room that are really important, that are going to be watching, and this is the reason why you worked so hard. You didn't get credit for it. You didn't get any grade, but you worked hard so that you could show to everyone, to the world, that you're capable. So here is Professor Delali. He's the head of mechanical engineering, as you know. Back there we have Katie Naylor. She's the head of CPDI, so jobs and internships. Over there's Tasneem. She's representing Tavis and the people at the ASRC, and there'll be more people from the ASRC coming over here. As I don't know if all of you know about the ASRC, but the Advanced Science Research Center, I think I gave this speech before. It's over at the lower end of campus. It's one of the new buildings, and it's got more toys than any other school or any other facility in New York. There is also Paul Lipson, who is an awesome community organizer, collaborator, consultant, everything you can think of. He's a multi-purpose like weapon to get money and to get support and to get attention. So we have to thank him. You have James Schultz, who currently has a infrared camera startup is one of the startups that collaborate with us. He's also a member of the iCore hub here at CCNY and is a major community organizer when it comes to entrepreneurship in the city. He's a member of Activate. If you don't know what Activate is, look it up. It's an amazing program for people who enjoy research and have finished a PhD or graduate degree or have worked on a project for a long period of time and want 2 years of up to $100,000 a year funding to, I don't think he does anything, I think he just sits around. But anyway, so like, that are the people, and then you have, sorry, Chris, that's right. Chris, I'm sorry. Then you have Chris. Chris works with Sync, which is the LifeSci program here, a LifeSci entrepreneurship program that's about to launch out of the Tasty building, which is a new building on 127th Street. It's going to be a full incubator program. It's basically what would be a continuation post MTM, right? You have a company and you want to come and use their space and materials and machines, you will be going to talk to and work with Chris. So it's important to impress Chris because he will know the companies that might want to hire any of you. So I apologize. You're Stephanie.
I can introduce Stephanie. Yes. The Stephanie Rose, I don't know her title, again, I'm not big into title, but she's organizing all initiatives around sustainability on campus. So she's an educator, but she also has her own nonprofit, and she's one of the people who's just so great at gathering resources and activate communities for a cause, and in this case, is the cause of sustainability. Also, if you ever need to know anything about teaching, she's the person that can train you. She's an incredible educator as well. Did you mention Christoph?
I'm about to.
Okay.
It's going from most to least important. Then there's Hannah. Hannah is currently working for the MTM program. So I'm pointing, these last two people are actually the most, I guess, next steps for you potentially, or future steps for you, because it's master's program and entrepreneurship program, right? Sorry?
I interject just because I like to interrupt you.
Yeah.
So Hannah is also the ambassador for the LifeSci NYC program in college, which is a program that builds a pipeline for internships in biotech. So that's something else you can talk about.
Excellent. So she's the person to communicate with about internships, about master's degree in biomed. And then last but definitely not least, Mr. Chris Babko, star of the show. Some of you are already doing this on-center program. If you haven't applied this year, really think about it for next year and for future years. Even if you're never going to open a company, the skills you're going to learn in his program are huge and extremely important for planning out your future life, all right, and understanding how markets work and understanding what your true value is as an employee and as an engineer. Okay?
I'm going to pull out my team if that's okay.
Yeah.
With John and IT over there, and Caridad, who's our the glue that keeps this all happening, and it's our admin person processes all the logistics of everything we do, and Brian over there, Brian, our pro coordinator, has been with you this whole journey. So, and I'm the small, look at him.
You all know I don't do anything for this program. I basically abandoned my team halfway through. Where's John? John, John probably was like, what happened? But you'll see his project and their project, and you'll see that you guys are talented on your own without me or anyone else. All right. Okay. Who wants to go first? Don't make me pick nobody. All right, yeah, then if we're not going to do that, we're going to do team numbers. Who's team one? Where's team one? There you go. Come on. This is yours. Excellent. Go ahead, guys, start. Everybody, please be quiet and listen.
Hi, we're the CCNY shuttle tractor team. We made a tractor for the shuttle buses at CCNY, and we're all going to introduce ourselves starting with.
I'm Khadija.
I'm Serena.
I'm Shamil.
So how many of you have been waiting for the shuttle bus at a station, but you gave up and then only to find out the shuttle bus is coming? See, a lot of you. It's a common problem, and our team decided to work on this problem and find a solution for it. So our goal for our project was to create a website that anybody can use to find out where the bus is and when it's going to come to that station. So you don't have to wait, or you can walk instead of waiting 20 minutes for the bus to come.
So to implement this project together, we decided to get a GPS tracker, put it to an Arduino board, and have it transmit the data from the bus to our website. And we have the GPS module right here on display. It's in this really pretty housing with the gold white ribbon around it. And this is how the module looks. It's really small. The idea was to keep it on the bus and have it send coordinates back and forth from the website and back to the bus and back to the website, so we can track effectively where the bus was and how long it's going to take to arrive at each stop. So then we somehow sent the data from the GPS tracker to the cloud, the internet, and everything. And we used a beautiful soup. It's like this amazing program that takes the data from the cloud, brings it back down to earth, and puts it on our website for everyone to see. And we made this beautiful website for all of you guys to access so you can see this beautiful data.
So this is how we broke down our project. So each of us had to split our work. So the coders would be me, Khadija, and then Arba. The circuitry people are Ryan and Yuri, but she's not here sadly. And for housing would be Serena. So these are actually the materials that we used to create the GPS.
So for the trackers, we have two Arduino boards on top of a bioelectric SIM 7000A, and this is essentially using GPS technology to give us the information, and then send it to the cloud. And once we get the information from the cloud, we send it to our website. And for the Raspberry Pi, initially we wanted to have a local server so it could display the actual map in interspace, but due to time constraints, we were unable to do so. However, the website is up and running. Also, we also have fans to keep it cool, because I just realized that I learned that these things run fairly hot. So we have these PC fans that run really well, pretty cool. And for maintenance, we also have magnetic tape with dust filters. So it does get pretty dusty here, so this is just easier to like clean. And then the SIM that's on the Raspberry Pi is the SIM 7600X 4G. This was originally supposed to bring all the information here to makerspace, but instead of that, we have it to the cloud and then send it straight to the website. But in the future, we will have it just display straight here, and potentially on a monitor somewhere.
So I was in charge of making the housing for the GPS and all of the components. So this is my first prototype of the housing for the Raspberry Pi and the fans. It evidently didn't really fit all of the parts, so I made a second one with a lot of help from Ryan actually. So it has two sliding chunks for the fans, so you can slide them in and out. This fan also slides in and out as well. There are holes for all of the ports, all of the like electrical ports. On this side, you can see it has all the power and fan controller and the connectors for everything, and this is the hook for all the wires. And you can see with So yeah, I also made the GPS housing trackers, and I had some extra time, so I made a little bit a necklace for both of them. Yeah, that was my job.
Guys, please try to project.
Bring it to the mic.
Yeah, just speak into the mic.
So we're gonna do a demonstration real quick of, sorry. We're gonna do a demo of the tracker currently. We have a website, it's live currently. So it's gonna be going up. We have a mouse and keyboard connected.
So this is a demonstration. I'm sorry, because I can't hear you guys.
Sorry,
Yeah.
this is the demonstration.
Yeah.
So this is the Raspberry Pi that Shamia had kindly worked on. In the beginning, honestly, we didn't know how to use a Raspberry Pi because it was our first time. But over time, we really worked on it to get this up and running and really get here.
So these are all the times for the shuttle bus. If you need to go to 145th or 125th after this, you got the times right here. So you won't have to wait for the bus. Well, you might have to wait, but at least you'll know it's coming. So yeah.
Since we're all in here and the tracker is also with us to show all of you guys, it's not in the bus, but this is just a demonstration of how it would work. So if you give it a couple seconds, you'll see the map shows up. And those two purple dots that are really dark, that's where the bus currently is. And it's 7 minutes until it arrives. Oh, and then it moved to 124th Street corner and 145th Street corner. And it's 3 minutes away from each station. And once it's at the station, it also lights up. And that's just a good way for you to get a gauge of where the bus is, so you know it's cold outside. And you don't want to wait outside in the cold. So you really want to, you can stop inside the shops. You only have 3 minutes to wait until the bus comes back. And it's going to go back to the campus. It shows you exactly North Academic Center. That's the NAC if you guys didn't know. And the Marshall building right below. That's where our two buses stop. And we put those little corner stops on the corners of the street where it goes down, just to demonstrate, you can wait a couple seconds for the bus, a couple minutes actually, to wait for the bus to get down if you have a little patience in you and withstand the cold for a little bit.
So now some troubleshooting things. So initially our project goal, since we didn't know how to actually implement the project, we had some ideas. So through extensive research, we found that SMS communication between these devices were really helpful. However, after some time we figured, and so what's an effective solution for that? And we found this free cloud API, which allowed us to actually send the data to a cloud, and we can just scrape it through Beautiful Soup, which is like a Python library. And scraping the API was very much free, so that didn't really take much money. So that was a solution that we found for that. But on the way, we also had some issues with the devices itself. Sometimes the devices couldn't find the GPS modem, which was an issue because that really stops us from getting the data back to our database so we can use it for our website. During these challenges, our mentor really helped us. Angie, she helped us out with just finding out other resources that we can reach out to. So one of the resources we reached out to was Hologram. So the SIM card that we used for our GPS modules to send the data to the cloud was Hologram, and we reached out to them asking them why are we losing connection continuously and why we're having such issues. And as of right now, there are still things that we can improve on. We're not always getting continuous connection. So the next steps that we have is to do more testing with Arduinos. By testing, we mean actually putting the GPS on the bus and then actually getting some real life points, GPS points, and then actually projecting what kind of time that it could have.
Additionally, another step we can conduct to make sure our times are more accurate is to think of other ideas. We were very restricted on the time we had to complete this project, and with finals and school on top of everything, we didn't have too much time to really creatively think of other solutions that we could come up with to enhance our time estimates. So as of right now, it kind of works like the MTA app where it gives you a rough estimate and hopes that there is no delay, which sometimes in New York City traffic there might be. But we try to move forward and come up with better ways to predict these traffic data, maybe use more APIs, data that give us traffic data and implement it within our systems to make sure we get a more enhance time so that students aren't waiting outside in the cold.
So we're also trying to make it more user friendly because for the website we can't really use it on mobile because it just shifts to all the way to the left. So yeah, we're trying to make it so that you could also use it on your phone.
Right, and another way we can make it more simple is I asked for a lot of feedback for our website because it's still in its finishing part of it. So some of the feedback we got, perhaps we want to put a bus icon, so you want to know where it's at, not just at a corner, like you don't have to wait. So you can get some actual movement, like, hey, it's actually slowing down right now. Maybe have some little bit more time. There's some future aspects.
Thank you.
Before we get to questions, first of all, I want you guys, as the visitors, to realize, and even the participants in the apprenticeship program, most of you have not had any Arduino, Raspberry Pi, circuit experience, or fabrication experience prior to this point. All right, they have not done any of that. Okay, and this is how far they've gone with 0 previous experience in a semester, where they are not really graded on these projects, and they're having to do this in their extracurricular time. Okay, so that is super impressive, and you should all be super proud of yourself. The second thing is a lot of our work here, and this is a call to action. A lot of our work here requires access to a router or Wi-Fi so that we can do IoT type work. This is an IoT project, right? We can't do that, and you know that. Okay, so there needs to be a solution for this in order for us to continue to do projects like this. All right, I'm saying this to the provost and to a head of a department, and who's easy when he gets it. That's your job.
You know about it, and research lab also, they're complaining about it.
Exactly.
So I think,
This is stopping all kinds of.
I know.
Okay, excellent. I just had to tell them all. All right, so guys, you are welcome to ask questions. Yes.
Can you tell us your major or thesis?
I'm mechanical. I used to be computer engineer.
Electrical engineer.
I'm computer science.
I'm also computer science.
I'm also computer science.
Yeah, it's a multidisciplinary, it's very nice.
Exactly. All right, thank you. Anybody else? Any
Have you talked to facilities about this? Have to have a real world implementation. It will be great for the college.
That's
We were
definitely
thinking-
within our plans to.
Yeah.
If we were to have more time to further advance this project, we definitely would love to talk to a school about it.
I think that's what folks will be happy to hear. So let's make that happen.
For sure.
We were actually thinking of strapping the GPS onto a human and then they just run after the bus all the time.
Yeah.
Because-
That could also work.
Yeah, so then you don't gotta ask the administration.
All right. Anybody else?
As far as collecting data for improving your system and figuring out how accurate it is, what are your plans? Have you considered adding a user interface to your website so people can rate how accurate it is, or say, it was 5 minutes earlier or 5 minutes later, and then you don't have then you have lots of data to work with. Have you considered that?
Yeah, that's a great idea. I had not considered it, but now I will. That's actually a pretty good idea.
Because then you have free testers, right? You don't have to do the testing yourself.
Absolutely.
Give them the data.
For sure.
Excellent. Okay, team 2. I appreciate team 1. You did a great
capture the
I'm Nazarina. I'm also a mechanical engineer major.
I'm Rebecca. I'm a biomedical engineering major.
I'm Faris. I'm a civil engineering major.
I'm Ryan. I'm also a mechanical engineering major. I'm Dominic. I'm a computer science major.
I'm Christian.
So 90% of the world's population live in places where air pollution exceeds the World Health Organization limits.
And over 200,000 premature deaths in the U.S. annually attributed to PM2.5. So what is PM2.5? Particulate matter, which is measured in micrometers, which is less than 2.5. So it's very small, and we should not be doing it all of it.
Guys, speak up.
Okay.
And in New York, locally, it's estimated that daily commuters have a 30% higher exposure to PM2.5, so that's basically all of us. And there are 2 million tons of carbon emissions annually by the MTA, and they have an initiative now to cut that by 85% by 2040. So now is the perfect time for a solution, and this is our solution. So the idea was to take the machines that they use to clean the carbon from the fumes of big factories and make it small scale and use it in the MTA to clean our air that we breathe all the time.
We bought everything and spent our whole funding on making a big one. We wanted to make a free recycled product, prototype one, where we had a small fan, which we just found things in the makerspace. There's like PVC pipe, and we used balloons to connect everything, and like a lot of tape, and a lot of small solutions, and also 3D printing. But there's a fan that would intake air, and we also made it in a closed space using the chemicals. And in here is a potassium hydroxide solution, which was pumped up into the top of the tube and misted through this mist nozzle. So the mist would combine with the air, and the potassium hydroxide would combine with the carbon in the air, and it would bond chemically. So then the carbonized water would go down, the potassium carbonate would go down through the drainage hole, and the cleaner would come out. So our reading started at around 2,000 KOH per a measurement, and it went down to I think 700 after 2 minutes of being used. Yeah. So it was good testing, and then we decided that we wanted to make the big one.
So this was our original shape for our design, and then we went through some transformations.
Our final prototype, as you can see, I'm going to go ahead and explain how it works. Here, this is the fan. It blows the air inside our duct. In the duct, we have here a mist machine that is going to be pumping from here the solution that has the potassium hydroxide, sorry. And here is going to be reacting with the air that's coming inside. We decided to this shape because of this duct. It has like small gaps in between, so if we didn't have the angle, the water it was not going to flow through the hole that we put here with a tube that is gonna go to the container with the carbonate solution. Also, at the end of the duct, we add this filter. It's a PM2.5 filter, so we can improve our air quality. I think that's all. We're gonna do the demonstration.
Yeah, so we'll show how it works.
We didn't put the solution because we cannot breathe it, and for doing that we have to do like an isolated box. So we decided not to do it today.
So basically, on the floor here would be the solution, and this mist nozzle sucks it up into this machine, and it's being dispensed into the fan, and it goes through and it's combining with the air into here, and then it all goes out there. And there's a filter at the end stopping the PM2.5 particles, the particulate matter from escaping.
So once we have our solution, this is our clean air.
So our machine is pretty much based on chemistry. I'm sure we all love chemistry here, and pretty much we have our solution, potassium hydroxide. And when it comes in contact with air, it chemically bonds with carbon dioxide. And after it bonds, we leave with water and potassium carbonate, and whatever is left will be dripped down right here in this container right here.
The electronic course was mainly an archiving system. We wanted to use that to collect data and see how well our design was functioning. And we actually were fortunate enough to find some PCB base that we actually had to customize. And I'm gonna pass this around and you can see some customization that we have in it. So actually of the hardware that we have personally we have like some really advanced in PCB and it was like in another software. So we had to switch to Altium and I had to like learn basics and customize the PCB, which was really fun. And also we also added our name in the apprenticeship that you can send the PCB to set up our design.
Okay, so we're gonna go to my favorite part, the PCB, the headache. All right. So the traditional wiring for this project is very messy, as you guys can see. So that's the purpose of the PCB, to make it look clean. This is surprisingly clean compared to that, as you guys can see. So for doing all the trials and tribulations that we had to get through, none of us really have experience with PCBs. It was our first time trying to get everything together. So the first thing we had to do was we had to buy our sensors. So we decided to use we used an Arduino Nano, and then we got just right here. And then we have a LCD display, and we also have a PM2.5 sensor and a carbon sensor. So these sensors are hooked onto the PCB, and they will basically record the data. So let us. All right. So this is us soldering on the parts. Decent soldering, if I do say so myself. Not too bad. But yeah, and we got it working, which was crazy because it was hard. So for one of our PCBs, for the PCB design, there was an error where two traces were going to the same input at the power, so our switch wasn't working. As you can see, the switch is working now. So we had to cut a trace because of that, because of our customization. And we got it working. However, after we got it working, it shorted. So that sucked. So basically, in the working, we had an Arduino Nano. So then we switched to an Arduino Pro Mini because it makes it more effective. Everything's cleaner. Everything's faster. It's a way better for the build. So we started putting that on, and right now, currently, we're not getting any data because we have to do some more configurations because we have to adapt the code for the Arduino Pro Mini. So after we do that, everything should be well and functioning. And but yeah, as you can see, it does work. So we're really proud of ourselves, and I think we did a really good job.
What are the sensors that you're using?
The sensors are PM2.5, CO2, an ozone, and a TVOC. And it also measures humidity and sensitivity, and it grabs of all sorts of stuff. So I'm gonna bring this around so you guys can look at it.
Pictures of us working.
In the future, to improve the machine further, we would add more filtration systems to further affect any more of the polluted air. So like the other sensors that were included in the device, we could affect them more instead of just PM2.5 and carbon. We would also vary the mist strength depending on the intake of air. So it would be able to sense, like if we could make a system that would sense the carbonized air and like how concentrated the carbon is, and then vary the chemical strength, so that like more chemicals would be going in to combine with more carbon if when needed. And then also we would just want to make a system that's more safe for indoor use, to put it in like in a room or in a building, like smaller scale than this.
And when it comes to this business development, usually team mentors don't go in and participate with presentations, but this team was exceptional to the point that the business development got the attention of a lot of people. Initially, we had a good start with Blackstone Launchpad. Christian had a project that he applied to that, if you want to talk about.
So basically, it's a project that won the CNY Campus Run that is Blackstone Industry Launchpad Apprenticeship. So it's basically a tracking device for adolescents, which allows them to quickly and effectively contact, alert their parent or loved ones that they have an issue. And this is actually, I wouldn't say foolproof, but it's definitely effective because it's hard to remove, and it's also like has emergency button in it that they can use, and it doesn't allow parents to actually control the adolescents, but the adolescents to be able to directly contact them in case of issues.
So initially, also, we had the three, in the beginning of the semester, we had the three ideas for what should we use for the apprenticeship, what kind of project we should develop, because we had three initial ideas and we weren't sure who should we use. So we thought of a good idea, which is reaching to the Design Center for the incubator, and then contacting Chris to have a meeting with him to see which is we should move forward to use for the CiPASS and for design. After we had that meeting and we discussed the three ideas, Chris suggested for us that we apply for the three ideas instead of not just one and moving with one, because he liked the three of them. So that's exactly what we did. We moved down the three ideas, and those three ideas actually got accepted separately. So the carbon capture, the hormone sensor, and the track and alert device all got accepted, and they're going to be participating in the incubator and Design Venture Competition of 2024. I could, Rebecca or Nazarena? Yeah, Nazarena could go talk about her project, which is the hormone sensor.
So I had the idea to create a hormone sensor that's going to be measuring estrogen and luteinizing hormones in women, so we can track their menstrual cycle. These two hormones are indicators for the ovulation. So I'm very happy that we got accepted in the Sun Center, and we're going to be able to develop further this idea.
For us, for the carbon capture, you already saw most of the hardware of the project, but there's a lot of business elements that we didn't show because this is more of a hardware apprenticeship more than business development. But there's a lot of sides of the subway systems and all of that that could be integrated into a successful business, and we're looking forward to do that exactly. And then the track and alert device is the same thing that was for the Blackstone Launchpad. We also, those are the people from each of the teams. We also have W1K, which is a startup device company that aims to automatically elevate pain. I include them because there is two people here from the apprenticeship that is in that team also, Rachel and Matthew. And then we have, for the hormone sensor, we have Nazarena, Rebecca, Natalie, and Hannah. And then for us, we have the three of us, Ferris, Elsa, and Dominic, and Jeremy from Team 3 over there. And then we have Naima, but she couldn't make it? She couldn't make it today. And then Christian and his teammate, Finney. But then we also took it a step further after the advice of James Schultz. We also continue to do I-Corps. You want to go explain I-Corps?
So basically, I-Corps is an NSF-funded program that is meant to allow you to discover your customers and the problems that actually need to be solved. So you're not fitting your technology, so that you're not finding a problem for your technology, but you're finding the problem and then fitting your technology to it. So we're finding the space in the market for each of our devices.
So we applied the hormone sensor and the carbon capture applied 2 weeks ago. We got interviewed this week. They got accepted yesterday. We got accepted Monday, and we're doing this the winter break boot camp, which is a 3-week course that would give us a lot of a heads up to what the Zon incubator does, and it's the same team, so we are excited to also move on with this. Anything else you want to share about our course? you should mention about like she also was involved in an iCorps project this semester, which is made it easier for us to go to it. And that's it. That's team 2.
Great presentation.
We have to thank you.
We have to thank people. Come on.
Thank you.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you to Fran, Brian, and CiPASS for everything you guys have been doing for us, and to James. Thank you for everything you've donated and for giving Ferris time off to work with us. And to Chris Bobko, he was the one that encouraged us to take all 3 ideas instead of picking just one. And then to Caridad for all of your help with ordering, especially their last minute shenanigans. And then to Daniel for all of his mechanical work and ideas. Shout out to his win. And most importantly, to all of the apprentices for the great community you guys have made.
Most important.
Sorry.
You didn't tell me why you're picking me also. It's okay. You guys did an amazing job, honestly, and that is probably one of the best presentations. I don't know what you think in terms of presentation that I've seen. So amazing work on the science. I think Professor Dolly is like burning up the chop to ask a question. You want to ask a question? No? Okay. Anybody who wants to ask a question?
We're ready. We were interviewed like 3 times for 3 different competitions. They have hard questions.
Don't intimidate them, all right? No questions?
So,
good?
Yeah.
You capture carbon. What happens to the carbon afterwards?
1 second.
Is it recycled or sequestered?
There's a lot of uses for it. We didn't decide what we would want to do with it. There's a company that gets carbon and they make soap from this specific solution from potassium carbonate. They make like soap and like body like products. You could use it for like fire extinguishers. There's like a lot of uses of like recycled carbon. We can
Also
store
for fertilizing
yeah,
plants.
for fertilizers. Yes, there's a lot of uses for
Yeah.
it. But we would just store it from the water, like from the release solution, and we didn't know what we were gonna do with it after that. But we'll figure that out.
You'll figure that out in iCorps.
With
Yeah,
iCorps,
exactly.
With the business.
Customer discovery.
The customer discovery, 20 customer questions, interviews. Any other question? Go ahead, Dan.
Yeah.
Why did you choose an aerosol?
An aerosol?
Yes, aerosol. Why did you choose to aerosolize the
Because it's easier, when you mist it, it's easier for it to bind with the carbon, with the air, so it would be easier for it to turn into carbonate, what is it? Carbonate. Potassium carbonate, yes.
Wow, thanks for that
Chemical?
curveball. Appreciate it. Trying to take down my team. Anyway, good job. Thank you for the question. All right. Any other questions? Okay. Excellent, guys. I guess it's gonna be it. Team 3, get ready. All right. We can take a little bit of break as well. For I know some of you need to leave, so if you do, you can just walk around. Fine. And while the camera's on in the live stream, I want to thank Caridad, I want to thank Brian, I want to thank Angie, who's watching at home right now, okay? I want to thank Elizabeth, I want to thank Ferris, because they all worked really hard. I got every ding of Discord that you guys sent, and I saw how much your mentors were communicative. They were responding day and night, and so thank you all for to the mentors, and to Brian and to Caridad for being ultra responsive, and another round of applause for them. Thank you.
You guys want to present on my laptop? You have oh, you have it? Yeah. My other
So guys, definitely speak up and.
I was gonna.
Well, we'll speak. Yeah, we use that. Yeah.
Alright, so
We'll speak loud.
so speak loud and make sure you speak into the microphone.
Okay. Don't worry about it.
You guys got it.
You got it? Oh, it's good.
They're gonna show it. It's gonna. They're gonna. Oh, there's the other sensor.
You want to take it up or no? Yeah, take it up. Huh? Big seven. That. I'm gonna go here. We're gonna start using this information. I'm gonna be here. Walk forward.
Alright, team 3's ready. Let's give them our undivided attention. Please. Thank you.
All right. Good morning, everyone. I'm very grateful. We're all very honored to present in front of everyone here. We're honored about what we could do. We're very proud of ourselves. And before I start all this, I just really want to be thankful to my team, first of all. They've done an amazing job, especially Ferris. He's led us the whole way. He's our mentor. He's given us the inspiration, the ideas. Everyone here worked really hard. We even stayed last night till 11, 12, 1, trying to finish as best as we can. But I'm really proud of us. I think we did a good job for the lack of experience we had, but I think it was a really good job. My name is Ronald Tanvir, and I'm an environmental engineer.
My name is Brandon. I'm a physics and math major.
I'm Dr. Samar. I'm a computer engineering major.
My name is Rachel, and I'm a biomedical engineering major.
I'm Jeremy. I'm a mechanical engineering major.
And I'm Yet, and I'm also a biomedical engineering major.
So, the name of our project that we built is called the Deployable Water Biosensor. And the functionalities are as follows.
So we were inspired by a concern for water safety. About 7.2 million Americans get sick from waterborne diseases. And after further research, we discovered a challenge posted by the Environmental Protection Agency. So they were mainly looking for engineers to create a field deployable, easily manufacturable water biosensor. And so this was our attempt to address the requirements for this challenge.
So since we're measuring water quality, we want to make sure that we're measuring large bodies of water. And the best way to do that we found to be by using a boat. So we purchased a boat, and then we decided that we were going to elevate it in a way to make it into some sort of biosensor. But first of all, when we first got the boat, our main issue was floating and how that would work out. So we came up with some stability system right over here, which we did keep. And it was on our initial sketch of our boat. But we weren't quite sure what to do with the water sampling side of the boat and the sensors. So this was our first idea sketch. We used to have boxes on top of the boat to collect the water samples. now we found a better idea for it, and I'll talk about that in a bit. But essentially, we were going to have tubes with the pumps, which are now underneath the boat. We were going to have tubes go into the boxes, collect the water, and dangle off the side of the floating system. We found that to be quite challenging. We thought that, as the boat moves, that would become problematic. So instead, we came up with another design, which is it's somewhat what you see over here. Basically, we are keeping the floating system, which you can see right here, but then we added a little pipe to the side of it so that we could actually wire the sensors and support them and have them be stable. So that worked out, and then of course we were going to have our Arduino and all our coding and our sensors, mechanics side of it, inside the hood of the boat. And this is what you see right now.
Yeah, so this is our final design. I just want to give props to Jet for painting the boat. You see there's a little bit of inspiration of Van Gogh in there, so, but yeah, we literally just took the prototype, the second prototype, and just ran with it. We still had the pool noodles here, and the sensors are actually on the bottom, along with the vials that will collect the water and sample. So the main part of this is to collect and sample water, and there are three main functions. Sample collection, so there will be pipes under the boat that will have a certain timer to it, and every time one timer runs out, then the pump will turn on. So there's 4 pumps down here, along with 4 vials, and we did that because we want to collect water in different places. So if there's a timer, then we could have it so that the boat goes to certain places at different times, so that all the water isn't the same all the time. And then we also have a turbidity sensor. Turbidity, all it does is it just shows you how clear the water is, so it can tell you if the water is healthy to drink, I guess, or if you could just bathe in the water in general. And then also, finally, we have a water flow rate sensor, which, pretty self-explanatory. It measures the water flow rate, and that's measured in liters per second, so it'll tell you how fast the water is flowing in that specific amount of time, so you could do what you want to do with it.
So more into the collection of the watering, what our plan was, we didn't really have a plan or an idea initially, because the whole point was just sensors in the whole boat itself. So we have the 4 vials, right, as you mentioned, and the whole systematic of it is we wanted more use for the boat. The boat had not too many uses, so we wanted to add something. So we added 4 vials with its own pumps that goes at different times, collect water to send to a lab of some sort that would calculate or check for any chemicals, check the whole chemistry of it. And the whole functionality is it would go on a timer on a relay, so it would go off every, let's say, if it's a large biome of water, then it would go off every maybe few minutes, 2 minutes, 3 minutes each pump. If it was a smaller, like a pond, something, it would go every 30 seconds, 40 seconds, 1 pump, 2 pump, 3 pump, 4 pump collection. But the vials, we can pop out actually, like that. And the vial that collects water, there's actually videos later on. Oh, it's already showing. I haven't seen it. And that's the pump in action right now. And there you go. We collected a decent amount of water. That's enough to test into a lab that we would send it to. And it's easy to take out, easy to pot it in. We put the cap in here, and that's the functionality of it.
So now I'm going to talk about how the turbidity sensor works. So here you could see the clean water, and here you could see the dirty water. So for the turbidity sensor, basically calculates how clear the water is. So when you see clarity, for the clean water, it's pretty low. It's at 1.43, 1.46, 1.53, and 1.58. And for the dirty water, you can see it's significantly higher. It's 2.50, 2.30. So basically, the higher the number, the dirtier the water. Sorry, okay. This is the turbidity sensor. And then we have the water flow rate, which Brandon talked about. So it basically gets water, and the code shows it here. When there's 0 water, it says 0 liters. But then when we put water in, it's 1 liter, 2 liters, and it's very instantaneous. So it's it shows the flow rate at that specific time.
So the limitations we face throughout the project. First of all, there's limited space within the boat, and throughout the first couple of weeks of designing the system that was going into the boat, it was difficult because on one side, our manufacturing team was relying on us to design the electrical components of the boat so that they could kind of make adjustments based on what we were doing, but we were also making adjustments based on what they were doing. So it was a bit difficult maneuvering and making space within the boat to fit everything. And then concerning the pumps are actually quite difficult to activate one by one. And what we realized later on was that we actually required extra components. And one of those components is a relay. So as the Arduino stands by itself, it can't actually activate the pumps by itself one at a time. It can activate all of them at once, and continually, but we can't really, we don't have control over it digitally. And that was a problem we faced. And then receiving data, the system as it is can only run while it's connected to a USB device. And you can obviously tell where that's going to lead, because you're not going to take your laptop with you on the boat and then like drive it around with the laptop connected, which is just impractical. So we actually did buy SD card adapters so that we would be able to store the data, but because of time constraints, that was difficult. We also had the idea of creating a website to send the data directly to a cloud, similar to Team 1. But that was also difficult, and we ran out of time, basically. So the boat, also our original idea was supposed to have a lot more than it has right now. We were supposed to have a pH sensor, a dissolved oxygen sensor, a temperature sensor, and the wireless communication by Wi-Fi, as I talked before. The dissolved oxygen sensor we actually ordered, but because of marketing issues, it wasn't on us. Because of marketing issues, it wasn't marketed properly, and we ordered the wrong part. And it was actually, what we ordered was a small part of a kit, a measuring kit. So we had to scrap the idea of using dissolved oxygen, which was one of the main, integral parts of the project, because we're talking about measuring, things dealing with biology and the water, and dissolved oxygen is a big part of just water and what goes on and the ecosystems within the water. I think that's it.
Thank you very much, everyone. If you guys have any questions, go ahead. Yes.
So I was wondering, how often do you guys get data from the sensors? Because I saw on your blog, it had 1 liter is the amount of water going in. But how often do you take those data points?
So now we have it set to 1,200. That's
It's
the
like-
standard.
Yeah, it's like 0.5 seconds it shows up. Yeah.
Yeah, when I watched it, it kept repeating the same numbers. So it's a very constant number that would keep showing very fast.
That's enough.
Yes, go ahead.
How do you make sure that all of the sensors are like waterproof enough?
Oh yeah, it's pre-labeled beforehand. We know that some components are and some components aren't. So whatever components aren't waterproof, we taped it up with water tape, road trip tape. So, or if anything, we kept it inside of these tubes right here actually, which is also kept up with these floaties. So this would rarely go underwater, and we'd have also made 3D printed cap, which we didn't get time to. So we 3D printed cap here for wiring inside here to be safe and secure. But obviously we don't have time and we didn't get to test it as much. But yeah, the wiring would be safe.
Actually, one of the main challenges of this project was how to keep the water sealed. Like every single design choice, we have to think about how to wire it so it is not leaking water or anything like that.
Other questions?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So basically, you collect water.
Yes.
You send it to the lab.
Yeah.
And then can do all kind of analysis, right?
Yeah.
Chemical analysis.
Everything.
I want to put analysis.
Of course.
Why open? Because it's more general, right?
Yeah, in that sense, right. But the part of it sensing, we'd also collect data for our website for like pH sensing, temperature sensing, dissolved oxygen if we had
I
that.
know, but we can put it more general type of, so that it can, because it has more uses,
Right.
It also had a GPS, but it doesn't work. It doesn't work underground.
There's a recurring theme also with all the years. Most of the apprentices are undergraduates and they're freshmen, sophomore, and junior year. Some of them have 6 undergrad classes, and like the fact that they could come up with projects like this in this crunch time is impressive in its own. So you could see a recurring theme of short of like great planning, but short of time because there's a lot of like classes and honestly anything that they could show up with a finished project is I consider amazing.
Alright guys. We're going to have one more team and then we're going to break for lunch. Team 4. Where's team 4?
Right here, you see it instead of, okay?
Oh, it's my team. My team, the best team. Guys, I literally did nothing for this team. I literally was there for the first 3 or 4 meetings, just like, yeah, this is what you could do. Give them their options. And then they did everything on their own. The fact that they even have a project is impressive, honestly.
Yeah, can you set up the presentation?
Okay, that's fine. We can put it up from my laptop as well.
We can do that, right? Does that sound good, Matt?
Sure, yeah.
Just make sure, sorry, just make sure everything is okay. Oh, yeah, of course. Well, let's not plug anything in until we already demonstrated some stuff. Is that good? Here, I'm saying we're going to move the audience over here. Let's just move this out a little bit.
All right! You missed all the good ones. We're gonna have one more team right now, and then we're gonna have lunch. Oh, right, Ryan? Yeah. And then in that time, after this team We'll give you all a chance to, all the visitors, a chance to walk around and talk to the different teams to see what other projects there are. Are you guys ready?
Yes. Yeah. Just the slideshow right here.
Hey! All right. Guarantee, do it quietly. Otherwise, please pay attention to my team.
Yeah, listen up, because this could save your life, right? So we're Team 4, and we created an accident prevention system for driving. If we can all just introduce ourselves.
Hi, my name is Matthew. I'm a biomedical engineer.
My name is Jessica. I'm a computer science.
I'm Brittany Lay. I'm a biomedical engineering major. I'm Claudia Liza, and I'm also a biomedical engineer.
And I'm John Henry. I'm a mechanical engineering major.
So what we wanted to design basically was kind of a system to prevent accidents. So we do that by detecting if the driver has fallen asleep at the wheel. So basically it detects if your eyes are closed for a certain amount of time, and if that happens, we have a vibration and an alarm system that kind of wake up the driver and prevent them from staying asleep. So our motivation for this project is actually, if you guys want to know, 1 in 25 people fall asleep at the wheel usually. So we kind of want to decrease that statistic and find a way to kind of resolve this by keeping drivers attentive and stopping people from falling asleep. So if your eyes are closed for a certain amount of time, then the alarm will go off and kind of prevent and back up.
You don't want to be this. You want to be this guy or this guy right here. That'd be pretty bad for you. You go ahead.
So moving on to the design process. So basically, we started by creating a CAD sketch of the design that we wanted, and the main component was the podium and the rod. And it was important for us to create a sketch that basically angles the rod at a point which mimics how it looks in the driver's seat. And from that, we moved on to creating a 3D model right there of our design, and it's exactly how it turned out.
Yep. So we're not done yet. We got the sorry. So right here we have the steering wheel. Looks pretty nice. Even bought a cover for it, so keep your hands warm. We have this aluminum connecting rod right here. That's going to keep it sort of balanced. We have these flange nuts that keep it from moving laterally. It's moving laterally now, not because of anything. Right here, we also have the steering wheel. We put an adapter on it so we could move it, again, without turning the rod at all. We also screwed that in with these flange nuts as well. For the base itself, we basically followed this design. We didn't feel the need to cover up these openings just so we could sort of circuits in here. We did have to play around a little bit with where the rod was going to be just so we could cover up all the unthreaded bits and we can make sure that the flange nuts are going to support it. We also painted it black, which looks pretty cool too.
For our sensors, we used an infrared sensor and also vibrating motors as well as a buzzer. So how the infrared sensor works is it has two components. It has the IR transmitter LED and the IR receiver photodiode. And basically the LED transmits wave. It's an object. For example, your eye as it blinks. Reflects back onto the receiver.
Circuit a little bit before we go into troubleshooting.
Yeah, so what the circuit does is that when you have that sensor, it reads a value, and when your eyes are closed, it's a different value from when your eyes are open, because your eyelid and your eye are different distances away from the sensor. So when it's detecting that your eyes are closed for a certain amount of time, it very simply turns on the buzzers and the alarm. Troubleshooting. So initially, how we planned to do this was we were going to use an EMG sensor, an electromyography sensor, that would be attached to your forehead, and you'd be able to detect when your muscles for your eyelids were contracting. However, after testing that out, we realized it was very inconsistent and very hard to determine at what threshold is your eye closed. So we scrapped that. That area sensor worked a lot better. It was a lot more straightforward. And another idea that we had was an electrical simulator to basically shock you awake while you were falling asleep. The components we ordered for that, the objects did not have a high enough voltage range for us to get this design to work. And also, we decided that probably most people don't want to be electrocuted while they're driving. So
Hey man, I thought that was a great idea. I was gonna enjoy watching that. I was gonna have Delali, Professor Delali test that out.
Not on me.
Alright, so we're just gonna test out the product real quick. Who's Jack? Alright, cool. So, Padilla, you said you wanted to be the driver, you wanted to be the guinea pig?
Be the driver.
God, yeah, I hope.
You need to unplug the laptop for the. Oh.
Close your eye. Okay.
Put your hands in the steering wheel when you're able to.
Alright, so as you can see, she is driving.
Her eyes are completely open, right?
And she can blink and everything. It won't just set off when you blink normally, but when you close your eyes.
You fall asleep. Alright. Yep, as you can feel it. This buzzer is annoyingly loud. And it's like a particular noise that just gets in your ear, right? It's the type of thing to wake you up. You good?
Yeah. Oh, wait. Oh, wait, yeah.
Yeah, here guys. Alright, want to test that again?
Yeah, it does
What's
require
that?
a little bit of adjustment. Close your eye.
What's that? Is
Okay,
it circular? See? Very annoying. Open your eyes. Do you feel awake then? Do you feel awake?
Thank you for waking us up.
Because there's 3 more presentations, guys. Alright, I think we're good on that, right? Alright, you want to turn it off before?
Yeah, before it blows up.
Alright, so for future goals, this is just a few features that we, these 2 features we tried to integrate during production, but we just weren't able to. An alcohol sensor, or otherwise known as a breathalyzer. You sat in the seat, you breathed into it, and if you've been, drinking a little bit, the system wouldn't work, you wouldn't be able to drive the wheel at all. That was something that we couldn't integrate on this circuit. Same thing with touch sensors on the wheels. What's that? Yeah, we just sort of ran out of time for some of this stuff. But we initially wanted, the reason why we got this cover was so that we could place touch sensors right under these 10 and 2 on the wheel. And if you let go, then an alarm would play after a certain amount of time. But again, that just wasn't in the cards for us. We didn't have enough time. And for next right here, we have a life-size model. Having a more accurate cockpit as opposed to just a wooden base with a wheel with wires sticking out probably isn't true to life. You can't really turn this a lot without destroying the entire thing. But that would be something that we'd want to test out as well. So I think that's... Do you have anything else?
Yeah, one more thing is that this is really bulky, and probably most people don't want to wear this while they're driving, so hopefully we'll be able to mount the sensor on maybe like the dashboard or the windshield of the car instead of like on a pair of glasses that you have to wear.
And that's it. That's all we got.
Excellent work. Keep it going. Team, keep it going. Any questions?
I'm just curious, I know it's not part of the project, but how would you have induced the electric shock on someone? Would it be like on the wheel or not?
Yes. So well, we had electrodes that would run towards any part of your body in general, and it would it would be activated by the same circuit, same system. When your eyes are closed, it would turn on this device that would send shocks into your body, hopefully waking you up and not putting you to sleep forever.
How much electricity, what type of shock are we talking about?
Really? Low, all the way shock.
There's
Very
safe.
Safe, soundly.
The alcohol sensor, what it called the police tours?
No, we're not nervous.
Yeah.
Hey, Len, you had a question.
Yeah, I did. I was just curious for the electrification thing. Who's going to test? Who's going to test?
I would test it. That sounds awesome.
That's why you didn't do it, because no one wanted to try it.
No, I don't think
There's a defibrillator upstairs. You got electroshock capacity, right?
Jean-Luc?
Yeah, for the breathalyzer, if you're driving on the highway like 60 miles per hour.
Well, you would just, I would assume, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. Go ahead.
And you said like it will stop the core. So are you stopping the core like?
No. The breathalyzer would come before you start driving. Like you have to. It's similar to like how there's for alcoholics they need to unlock their car with a breathalyzer test. That's what we're doing at here too.
I don't drink while I drive anyway. It's not.
But within the future, you said that as you are driving, it will stop the core.
Oh no, we wouldn't do that.
Yeah, I meant like the car wouldn't turn on.
Yeah.
That is.
How did you calibrate the infrared sensor?
Trial and error, essentially. We just tried to figure out like what positioning, how far from the eye, what angle, what would work best. Also, we didn't fully fix it permanently, so we could adjust it on the fly, like you saw it.
Serena.
Does it work for like different eye shapes?
Yes.
Face.
For the most part, yes. That's also why we made it adjustable. So yeah.
Okay.
Would it like come based on the car, or do you want to like people buy it and they have to install it into the car?
I think it depends on what that system is funny, but ideally, I would say this would be a separate product that you could put into your car.
Another question. Who is like, do you know like the stats of like who lost sleep more? Like in terms of like, I believe like, I was in most truckers, because truckers like drive all day, and it's tiring, and it's your job. But I just
Yeah,
want to
that's definitely a good point. Yeah, people who drive.
People haven't discovered Celsius.
It's dangerous.
No, but yes, definitely people who drive for a job, people who drive all day long, are definitely prone to fall asleep at the wheel. So this would be for them.
I just realized you're all standing over there. Yes, much better. We have another question.
Oh, so yeah, that's why I was saying we don't want to use this as a permanent way of sensing it. We would want it to be like mounted either on like the windshield or the dashboard, so you don't actually put your glasses on.
Or attached to like some sort of camera system.
There's a lot of questions.
If I were to wear my glasses, would it still be able to detect it through my own glasses?
Yes, it could detect it through the glasses, but ideally you wouldn't have to do that at all.
As far as the marketability change or scheme, would you consider having? So you have like 5 different ways of waking someone up. All of them equally as annoying, which is good as my. Yeah. But so I've used my ambulances have these systems already. They do wake us up. They do tell you if our eyes are off the road for more than 6. And they have levels of severity, and I think that's a good suggestion for you guys is that maybe it like makes a sound. If your eyes stay awake for long and stay closed for a certain amount of time, it would start vibrating the steering wheel and then electrocution and all these different things that you have. Would you consider making levels of severity so people are actually like so not every time they close their eyes at like a stoplight, it makes a noise when they're in a way they don't want to use.
Absolutely, I think that's a great idea. I don't know if we really thought about it, but yeah, for sure, it would make sense for us, instead of setting off an entire alarm system, when you take your eyes off the road, maybe just send a little alert, whatever, so you can say, oh, please pay attention to the road versus falling asleep. Now we set off all of the bells and whistles.
All right, excellent. Thank you very much for the team. Really makes me personally so proud. They learned from me so well. Also, I wanted to highlight something to Professor Delali specifically. As I said, I did not help at all, right? And I want you all, anyone who is here as a visitor, to realize one thing, and as well as students. I did something different this semester, which is basically after teaching you some of the generals of how to prototype, where to find your, where to find similar projects or ideas out there, et cetera, where to find resources, help in general, I stayed out of it. And I told you all to mention inside of your presentation, what are the steps that you took? What are the faults that or the mistakes that you made, and where you learned? And that is the whole point of all of this, is that empowering the students, giving them the powerful, hardcore training at the outset in a way that is digestible, right? And then allowing them the freedom to explore on their own, which they clearly have done, right? I clearly didn't do anything except teach you how to use the space. All right?
All right, go.
I have a strange request. So there is one more person in the CiPASS team who does a lot of the work behind the scenes to scaffold of this. She's my collaborator, Christine Banks-Calderon. Some of you have met her. She's homesick, but she is so sorry that she missed this. So can I ask you a very dork school teacher request? Can I record a video of saying hello, or hello Christine, if you feel bold enough, so I can send it to her, because she's so sorry that she couldn't be here, and she has done so much work to scaffold this program. I'm sorry to ask you this, I know that, but you know, is that okay? Thank you. All right, I'm taking it. 3, 2, go.
Excellent. All right, so now we're just going to have open time because professors are about to bounce, administrators need to go, and so I'm going to give them time to walk around, look at the Mobot, you know what I mean? They did a Mobot, because that's what all robots should be called now, Mobots. Yeah, see what other items there are that the students came up with. All right, you guys are free to talk and take a break. If you haven't gone yet, raise your hand. All right, Mobot, and who else? What other team? Team 7? I thought there were 3 more teams left. Where's team 5? Oh, he's not here. He's outside. Okay, that's fine. Yeah, do you want to come back later?
Actually, Jerry and Santiago. Santiago.